All right. That should work, man. There was something unscrewed in this thing. That should work. Let me see if that works for you guys. I'll talk and act like it's going to work. That should work, man. There was something unscrewed. Yeah, all right, great. I fixed it. Now we got the problem. Now we got it right. We back. All right, Bert from Martican in the building. What's going on, Bert from Martican? Fast Lane Jones, man. Thank you so much for showing up early. Mr. Shelton, Jay Wonderful, Electric Agitator. What's going on, man? Shout out to the chat and Fannon, my favorite edutainment. Rise and shine to the chat and Fannon. Thank you very much for coming again, Eclectic Agitator. Jay Wonderful. Hopefully the live won't go in and out like yesterday. Yeah, that was kind of crazy, but you know, it is what it is. We keep it pushing. What's going on, Mike 202 817? My man, Eclectic Agitator. I got to keep saying your name every time I see you. Stephen Young in the building. What's going on, man? Stephen Young, you a member of the channel, man. Make sure you go check out the video that I put up. I got a couple videos I'm going to put up today in the members only. Is for members only videos. So if you're a member, go check for the member only videos. What's going on, B&B Boxing? Mr. Mont in the building. What's going on, man? Brothers UK, Mass Arms, St. Cruisin'. All right, everybody. All right, man. Let's see. Let's get on down. So, because I don't want to get too far behind, I'm going to try to stay close to the bottom of the chat of the chat today, so I don't miss anything going on. LeVar Leggett said, "What's up, Fannon? Put these bums in a body bag today." You know. We'll have a discussion about it. We'll talk about a lot of things, man. We'll be talking about a lot of things. We're going to talk about Mike Tyson, Roy Jones a little bit. We'll talk about Showtime. They messing over Showtime. Mr. Bajaj said, your stream yesterday was one of the best I've seen. Hey, thanks, man. I thought I was off yesterday, but that's nice to know. It's good, man. It's really nice to have you guys, man. So it's really fun for me, man. It was a fun show for sure. What's going on, Jupiter B in the building? What's going on? He said Bill Haney and his son is on a sinking ship and trying to use Gary Russell as a life jacket. Bill Haney is not who we thought he was. That's for tunnel vision. What's going on, Hassan Smith? Man, we'll get into that, man. You know, people are gonna do their jobs, man. They got to do their jobs. Everybody in this situation, man, is just, you know, they're doing their jobs. You know what I mean? It's just what it is, man. Just what it is. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, everybody just really trying to do their job to the best of their ability and to the best of their know-how. Some people you could just go, you could just go about it a different way. If you go about it a different way, you can get a different outcome. It's the only thing I'm saying. But yeah, man, they're not looking the best. I'll put it this way, like the Russells are probably happy this happened. They're probably happy that this happened because they're in a much better position that this happened than they were before, for certain. Name has grown considerably. Everybody knows what's going on. Alex Hernandez, salute to you. It's like Fannon is in rare form, the best education in the AM, cooking with good logic and understanding. Thank you, man. Don't let him know I'm a nerd, man. Don't let him know I'm a nerd. Don't let my nerdness pop out and everybody find out. Terry D Gunn, man, thank you so much, man. In that super chat, man. Let me get my gong back, man. Fuck. Yeah. Much love in that super chat. Yeah, I just gotta get something to hit this gong with. What I do? Yeah, we'll work it out. I got a wallet. All right, cool. Hey, Terry Guns, thank you so much, man. Are you going to do a video about the fight tomorrow night? Yeah, I already did. Hold on, which fight's tomorrow night? Go Shaw and them dudes? Yeah, I'll put that on the members channel. I'll do one for members. If members want me to do it, I'll do it. I'll put it on the members channel. But Mr. Pedraza, Fannon, are you passionate about any other sports? No, not really. I'm just boxing. I'm not really into any other sports other than women's tennis. Women's tennis and boxing, pretty much. I don't watch basketball. You know, I don't do a lot of that, man. I haven't had, Bill Hearn wanted to sign Gary. Now shitting on him. Typical. Oh, did he? Bill Hearn? Who's Bill Hearn? Oh, Bill Hearn. Yeah, Bill Hearn. Organic Mike, what's good from Louisville, Kentucky? Louisville, Kentucky. That's what's up, man. My people are from Louisville. I got a lot of family in Louisville. So, man, let's get it. Let's, man. All right. We'll wait till 200 people come in, man, and then we'll get it rolling. We still got a little ways of people pouring in the building. Russell's handled everything like professionals as well. No cheap shots, straight to the point. Can't do anything but respect that. Yeah, man, pretty much. And they fell into it, man. They fell into the trap. What's going on, main event, Mark? Fell into the trap, dog. Fell into the trap. And I tried so hard to keep him out that trap. That interview should have been over. That whole negotiation could have been over as soon as they asked for the options. That was quite the ask for those options. You know what I mean? It's like, I can try to pitch this because I want to know what you're trying to accomplish. Oh, you're trying to get them to do this and sign some options and get them over there? Okay, I'll talk to him about it. See if that makes sense. Matthew Valentine, that super chat. There's a fake narrative out there that the LDBC is paid off by Russell Team and Team Haney keep grinding. Paid off. He only fights once a year. Ain't that what you said? What you talking? Paid off. Well, pay me more then. They pay me more then. Paid off, man. Come on, man. Okay, I'm paid off. Did that make you say you had the money when you didn't have the money? All right, I'm paid off. Did that make you say you had the money when you didn't have the money? Did that make you jump in the middle of a conversation between Gary Russell Jr. and Terence Crawford? No. Did that make your team say either one guy or the other has to duck? That has to be the outcome? No, I didn't. I could be completely paid off. I didn't say anything. Shit. Seems like everybody talking must be paid off by the Russell team. The way that shit was going, man, maybe they paid off by the Gary Russell team. Because they said much more damaging shit to Gary Russell than I did. I mean, what? What you sipping, OG? Topo Chico. That's my favorite type, just the plain. Then we got the lemon lime. We got the Topo Chico twisted lime over here. Tastes good. Wants that entanglement, dog. They wanted that entanglement. They tried to entangle them. So that shit really, truly, that whole shit should have been done right there. The whole negotiation should have been over right there. What? How did it go from $1.5 million to $1.5 million with options? How the hell did that happen? Just like that. Man, that's a big ask, huh? Or I'm ducking. Right? Either sign with me or you're ducking. It's amazing, man. And I'm the one. I didn't say that. Jupiter B said, "You're right. That's exactly what Hearn did. Exactly what Hearn did. Wilder trashed him when he couldn't sign. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure." Said Broderick Hunter, exactly. Payoff or not, Bill was the one with his foot in his mouth. Hey, it wasn't me. There's a rumor that because of the effectiveness of it, I take that as a compliment. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's nice to know that people think that my contribution was worth some money, because I damn sure got offered some. I damn sure had people, They'd have said I could get some money. I'm sure if I did the right things, I could find a way to get some money. Fannon has been hitting for a while that he thought he letting the chopper spray a bit now. Dog, they won't leave me alone, man. They won't let me alone. I keep hearing things about myself. I mean, dang, you know what I mean? You talking about me? I'm just chilling. Not talking about nobody, but nah, it's news now. Like the last video I did about Devin Haney wasn't nothing about the negotiation. I'm keeping my word. I'm out the negotiation. I said this is the last time I'm gonna talk about the negotiation. I never said I couldn't give my opinion about it. I just wanted everybody to hear what was necessary, and I can give my opinion about it. I'm a fan. I have a right to do that. You can have a right to disagree with me. Not a problem. Hey, everybody out there, I am completely paid off by Gary Russell Jr. He pays me $1.5 million a year for this. Okay, I'm going to disclose that to you. Since they say that's the rumor, let's just act like the rumor is true for a second. Let's roll with it. Let's roll with it. And let the rumor be true that I am paid off by Team Russell. What difference does it make? Does it make any difference whatsoever? Based on what you've heard and what you've seen? No. Because you know why? Bill Haney is paid off by Devin Haney. Didn't you know that? That's a rumor. The Bill Haney is paid off by Devin Haney. That he gets paid out of the money. Just to let you know. Since I'm getting paid by Russell, let me be sure that everybody's getting paid around that bitch. Everybody's getting paid. Some people getting paid millions. Other people may not be getting millions. 3, 2, 1 on Nevis. Please dismiss Nevis from our sanctuary. Please escort Nevis to the door. It was nice meeting you. You got the attention you deserve. Now that is a block too. Now we're not blocking people. Y'all also complain that I'm blocking people. Now we're just timing you out. We ain't even blocking you. Okay? Don't act like what's up. The real Marl said, what's up for 9? Where are the wrenches? Oh man, the wrench is gonna be around, man. They ain't bugging. I tell people for a while not to block because people are he blocks, you block. It's like, okay, time out then. Cool. It's easier. Because that way I don't gotta unblock people, and this shit unblocking people is difficult now. Got all this dang on traffic on this internet. You know what I mean? Nah, I mean. Yes, sir. Do him out on his head. Thank you very much. Because I'm looking back here. From here, I'm keeping close tabs on this thing today. And I don't expect a lot of super chats. That's cool. I don't mind. It's all love. Thank you. It's all good. But I'm making sure I don't miss any if they so happen to pop up, because I've really been doing people really, really bad. So let's get into this Devin Haney thing. We got 200, 300 people here. That's good enough. What's going on? Jimmy Bernard in the building. Salute for Fannon to Don. What's good? Oh, that's all good. Africa's home. Much love in that super chat, man. Says salute for Fannon. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Hold on, man. Salute for Fannon. Borrow me $2 out of that 1.5 million. I want it all in quarters. I got you, dog. I got you. They paid me 1.5 million for this. You paid off, dog. I mean, that's when you know you've won, by the way. If you really heard a rumor that I've been paid off, if you've heard that for real, you know what that means? I win. Quite honestly, I won a while ago. However, I definitely win now. Body bag. Wrap them up. Wrap them up. If they said that. Wrap them up. Wrap them up. Because now they're not talking about whether or not I'm wrong, right or not. Now they're claiming I'm paid off. He's so right. He had to get paid off. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you for the compliment. Now, proceed to the mortuary because, dog, that shit is a wrap. That shit is a wrap. Gary Russell Jr. didn't duck shit. And all that shit. I ain't talking about Bill Haney. I'm not talking about Devin Haney. I'm not talking about Mayweather Jr. I'm not talking about the PBC. I'm just talking about people pushing that dumb shit came talking to me, acting like it was just obvious that Gary Russell Jr. was ducking when there was nothing obvious about that at all. Nothing. Nothing. But y'all just so set on discrediting Gary Russell Jr. and thinking that you could get away with just blatantly doing it like in everybody's face, man. No, that shit was not popping like that, dog. Much love in that super chat. Fannon, I think you would make a good boxing manager. Well, let me tell you, here is what I think about becoming a boxing manager. I will keep it to myself. However, I can see it for a short period of time in the careers of a fighter, maybe. You know what I mean? But I got to have a YouTube channel that could front that as a business. I'd have to be much, much, much bigger to use this to manage a boxer. You know what I mean? But theoretically, it could happen. Because these guys that are managers have to have other jobs where they can afford to front the money for the fighter. You know what I mean? So there you go. Southern T, because I mess with you. Thank you so much, Southern T Boxing. Thank you so much, man. Much love in that super chat. So let's get into the subject matter, man. All right, we got 300 people. It's time to get into the subject matter. I ain't really here to be talking too much about the Haneys, man, because I do respect them. But I will tell you something, man, after I read this super chat. Excuse me. Jesus Christ follower, would you put Larry Holmes on your greatest 15 heavyweight of all time? And if so, where would you rank Michael Spinks? I would have Larry Holmes somewhere around 4 or 5. Way up in my top 15 heavyweights of all time. Way up. Way up. Way up in my top 15 heavyweights of all time. And Michael Spinks, I would say I have to think about it. He's more of a light heavyweight. To tell you the truth, I don't think I would rank Michael Spinks in his career at heavyweight very high. I think he got lucky. I thought he got some gifts to get it against Larry Holmes. Some gifts. You know, 3 could happen. 4, 4 or 5, something. I should probably do a video about it and really do it. You know what I mean? Did anybody hear what Mikey Garcia said about teaching Errol Spence how to drive disrespectfully? Disrespectful. Man, he's just an asshole. I mean, that's the only way that you can chop up Mikey Garcia. And there are people that cannot understand why, and people that I respect, respect a lot, that ask me like, why do people hate on Mikey like that? And my answer is because Mikey's a dick. That's why. And his nephew is a dick. That's why. They behave like dicks. And there's just no other way to say it. You act like a dick. Like Mayate in the middle of in the middle of the locker room, you know, saying things like that, acting like you don't know professional boxers' crews acting like they don't know who Gary Russell Jr. is. Man, give me a complete and utter break. Okay, jealous dicks. He's just a dick, dog. That's why people don't like Mikey, because Mikey's a dick. You know, can he fight? Yes, he can fight. I think he's the best 140 pounder in the world. He should be fighting at 140. Fight at 140. But no, he's got to try. He's out here trying to slick Willie a Pacquiao fight. Man, go fight Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez, man, and make some money. What are you talking about? You don't want to fight your boy Jose Ramirez because you're in the same weight class as him? Man, make some money fighting Jose Ramirez. How about that? And get out the way of everybody else and let them fight with all that dumb shit. That's why Mikey, because Mikey's a jerk, man. And Mike got his ass whooped by Errol Spence Jr. after bopping his lips like that, man. He thought it was sweet in Texas. He thought it was sweet in Texas. Wasn't sweet in Texas. Wasn't sweet in Texas, dog. Not even a little bit. Mikey still wearing Spence's jabs. Oh, man, no doubt about it. B. Wayne in that super chat, he said he's mad because Spence punished him, so it's sour grapes. Much love in that super chat. What's going on, Money Brown TV in the building? What's going on? He made that Donkey Kong. Oh, yeah. He did make that Donkey Kong thing about Bronner. Yeah, he's just a jerk. I mean, you know, you ain't got to like somebody because they're a good boxer. They can be a jerk. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is a jerk. He's a great boxer, but the dude behaves like a jerk. Mikey's a jerk. Like, why do you hate on Floyd? Because he's a jerk. Why you hate on Mikey? Because he's a jerk. You know what I mean? Why else? What other reason would there be? What other reason would there be to have an attitude like that with somebody? Unless they're a jerk. Tyson Fury's a jerk, and he's a cheat. So shit, don't like him. You know what I mean? Caleb Plant, not a jerk, not a cheat. Hey, can fight, like him. It's not complicated, man. Not complicated. Okay? There's jerks. Jerk is kind of like, you know, universal. It breaks all boundaries of race, creed, color, sex, all of that. It breaks all of those boundaries when you're a jerk. It don't matter what else it is. It's because you're a jerk. Mikey's a jerk. And that little Peter dude, when he wouldn't quit, man, quit like a man, dog. This dude, Mikey Garcia, is the first dude ever where it'd be like, man, will you fight? Fight or quit. One or the other, man. Fight or quit. Errol can't punch. Errol can't punch. Errol can't punch. Man, you didn't even try. He didn't give him any opportunity to knock his ass out. His whole thing was surviving. A whole shit talk. I see something. Yeah, you see you can survive that. Like, ooh, I think I see something. I can go 12 rounds with him. If I just cover up and I don't punch back and I wave my hand at the end of the round like this, then I can get I can probably get a round or two on some cards and look good. And hey, then I can move right back down and ha, he didn't beat me. But no, he battered you ridiculously, mercilessly. You lost every single solitary round. You couldn't counterpunch him. You couldn't pot shot him. You couldn't do nothing. Nothing against that man. Nothing. What did you see? What reminded you? What in the world reminded you of how did Errol? That's what I'm saying. That's some delusional shit. That's like me looking at Deontay Wilder and say, I see something in myself in Deontay Wilder. Yeah, I do. I see some of myself in Deontay Wilder. Some of that power. What? You ain't jack like Errol Spence Jr. You throw punches. I'm sorry, you throw punches. Yes, you do. You know what I mean? You know how to throw a punch. You throw all of the same punches that he throws correctly. Yeah, I mean, yes, just like he does. He throws his punches correctly. You throw your punches correctly. That there is where all similarities end. It's a wrap. So yeah, dog. That's why Mikey, man. Well, Mikey, y'all can't, man. That's what it is. There you go. What's going on, Shadow Host 1981 in the building? What's going on, man? What's happening? Man, my man, 24 King mentality said, can't wait till the PTSD catches Mikey in 5 years after that Dallas slaughter. Oh, yeah, he took a ass whooping. I mean, that was not just a shellacking. That was a shellass whooping. Crazy. Mikey versus Bud Crawford. Same thing. Mikey fight him like this. Just cover up his head and absorb body punches, you know. Bert from Mardikin in that building, man. Much love in that super chat. He said, best part of Spence versus Garcia was the brawl that took place in my section. It was fantastic. The fight was just Errol punching Mikey all in his face. Just all in his face. All in his face. Terrible, man. Terrible. Why don't we like Mike? Why don't we like, man, come on, man. Come on. But look, let's get into this. We got to talk about your boy Terence Crawford, Doug, and how he about to fall behind Terence Crawford in this pound for pound competition, dog. Okay, in this for real. I'm saying mine. And you know what? I got a damn channel. I can fake like these dudes. I'm gonna call it in Fannon's pound for pound. You know what I mean? I'm a reputable boxing expert. That's what I am. I'm not a boxing fan who pays attention. I'm a reputable boxing expert. So in my pound for pound, dog, I see where BFTB is taking this. If you didn't check out his show yesterday and the day before, he went through the resumes of both Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford. And like the true YouTuber that I am going to steal his content and make a video about his shit. Nah, just kidding. But I will talk about it here because it was really, really good. Very, very good. And so I'm going to give my twist on it, man. I think BFTB is correct. He has convinced me that Errol Spence Jr., after this Danny Garcia fight, will be the number one fighter in the world. Number one pound for pound if he beats Danny Garcia. It's a wrap. It's a wrap because Terence Crawford most likely is going to fight Igis Kalvinakis again. Or even if he fights Kell Brook. I have a metric I want to put in place for this pound for pound stuff. And that is, what have you done over your last 6 fights? 6 fights is 3 years. Like, that really cuts to like what you're doing and where you are in your career. So if you compare like champions, this guy's last 6 fights, and because fighters fight twice a year for the most part. If you're active, you're fighting twice a year as a champion. You're fighting the mandatory and the voluntary. And that's pretty much standard. All of the top guys are fighting twice a year. Very few people are fighting 3 times a year, right? Terence Crawford twice a year, Errol Spence Jr. twice a year, Sean Porter twice a year, Deontay Wilder twice a year, Anthony Joshua twice a year, Canelo Alvarez twice a year. Everybody's fighting twice a year. So since everybody's fighting twice a year, then 6 fights is reasonable to say where you are, right? Like if somebody and say in the problem that solves for me is like Gennady Golovkin. Like what has Gennady Golovkin done in his last 6 fights? Right? Sergey Deverenchenko, who a lot of people thought he lost to. Who did he fight before that? Was that a loss to shit? It might have been a loss to Canelo Alvarez. Before that, a draw to Canelo Alvarez. And before that, a tough fight with Daniel Jacobs. And before that, you know, I think he might have had one with Amir Khan, a tough fight with Amir Khan or something like that. But it's just not very strong. And that tells you where he is now, not when he was fighting back in, 2014, 2013, 2014, because doing that doesn't, including that shit, you don't get to take in consideration the fact that the guy's getting older, right? So like Manny Pacquiao's last 6 fights, not what he did against, and actually, A. Hayes said, who I from the NO, that's what's up. Gary versus Haney. All I can say to the Haneys, don't enumerate your unpatchy poultry before the gestation period has fully expired. He is telling you, please do not count your chickens before they hatch. Do not count your chickens before they hatch. Thank you very much for that beautifully articulated. Do not count your chickens before the motherfuckers hatch. You thought you had them. That's what I think. I think they thought they had them. That was a tough play they tried to pull on them dudes. But much love in that super chat. Let's get back onto this Terence Crawford. But like they say, let me get back to cooking on this Terence Crawford thing and this pound for pound thing. How drunk are you, Fannon? Not at all. How gone are you? Motherfucking entirely. How drunk are you? Damn it. Hold on. Please, hold on. No, I'm not drunk at all. But see you later, dude. Thank you for asking the question. This is water. And this is gloating feeling. Okay? Just so you know what's going on. If you see a certain amount of happiness, it is because the further we get to closure on this nonsense, the better I feel. And I feel like Devin Haney said, I'm getting tired of this. I'm getting tired of this. And that means if he's getting tired of this, that means it's a duck. Based on the media push that was out to get Gary Russell Jr. And since it missed, big swing and a miss by at least 70% of the people, because I didn't want to put a poll out because I was like, yeah, I should put a poll out. But then some little bot would come by just pressing on it. But dog, I've already asked people who you think is, all right. If you think if some two people have to be ducking, who's ducking? Let's put it to the test. One, if you think Devin Haney is ducking. Two, if you think Gary Russell Jr. is ducking. Let's just take an informal poll, and I will go back to being neutral. One, if you think Devin Haney is ducking. Two, if you think Gary Russell Jr. is ducking. And we have 541 people in the building, a reasonable sized crowd of people to pool. Sweet Tea said nobody. Rob Dre got that's one for Gary Russell Jr. And no twos. The only options is 1 and 2s, dog. Not both. 1 or 2, not both. Because what they said was one person had to be ducking or another person had to be ducking. So I only care about 1 or 2, nothing else. It's not neither, it's 1 or 2. It's 1 or 2. 1 is Devin Haney, 2 is Gary Russell Jr. Yeah. There are some 2s scattered amongst a sea of 1s. No need to count those. Man, my man Cali Enigma said, congratulations, Fannon, on the great work you've done over the last weeks. It's been impressive. Much respect to you. Much love. LDBC. Yes, sir, Cali Enigma. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, sir. Nah, Stephanie Young, there is no nobody. You can't say nobody because Team Haney said it had to be one or the other. I said it was nobody. I said it was Floyd Mayweather Jr. Everybody shot at me and said no. So, okay, let's go by what Bill said. It's got to be a duck, one person or the other. So who's the duck? The Devin Haneys have it. Clearly, the Devin Haneys have it. Now, you might say, oh, yeah, that narrative ain't working. Oh, dog, yeah, I mean, that's just silly. But I wouldn't put that. Much love in that super chat, too. Johnny Player, Team Haney sent the contract. So the fuck what? So what? So what? They sent the contract to get redlined. And in the middle of the redlining, if they say they're not taking the fight, then they're the ones not making the fight. And Bill Haney said that it has to be somebody ducking one way or the other. So if Gary Russell Jr. is still interested in the fight, I don't care what reason that Devin Haney pulled out of it, it's on Devin Haney, based on the words of Bill Haney. I would advise not to use that standard, but it's not my choice. Because I'm not the one that came up with that shit. I didn't come up with that. Somebody else came up with that. Jupiter being that super chat, he said, there are no 2s from names we recognize. Oh, yeah, the bots. The bots went for the bait. The bots went for the bait. Now we know who the bots are. Now we have recognized who the bots are. And since we know ye bots, eject ye bots. If you somebody put a 2 on that, no, I'm just kidding. Don't throw them out. They may not be bots. There's a couple people that may actually believe that dumb shit. I don't think there is, though. I mean, you know, come on. 11119, Bill, Diddy, and the crew, Duck Dynasty from Junior the Truth. Well, there you have it. Well, there we have it. No. There will be nothing that can get this away from Bill Haney, from Devin Haney. Nothing can get this away from Devin Haney. Support Haney and Russell still. Absolutely. Absolutely. You should support. Will support. Excellent fighters. Now I'm teasing a little bit, right? But I'm really not. I mean, but I really can't even go that way because I don't understand why people keep wanting to talk to me about that. That's how it is, though. The game is rough. The game is rough. Oh, this is obvious, little Scrappy. But this is what, if we had to get into the minutia of it, then yes. But I'm getting off of this. You guys keep pulling me back. I'm trying to get out, and you keep pulling me back. I am trying to talk about Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford. I must stay on topic. We must stay on topic. A. Hayes is going to pull me back in the building. Bill Haney don't want that repeat Floyd versus Canelo. Bill Haney eyes were open and his son is following suit while puffing out his chest. Much love in that super chat, man. And salute to the homie, the real Marlo, for Bill Diddy nickname. Go subscribe to the homie. Salute. Yes, sir. Money. Much love in that super chat, Junior. But let's go back to Mr. Hayes. Said, look, man, that was going to be all the bullshit aside, smart move. Smart move not fighting Gary, man. And smart, for real, Fannon, are you Arabic? No, I am niggerate. I am Negro it. What you mean, am I Arab? Nigga, what? The fuck that come from? Hell no. I ain't, what? Thank you for your question. Get the fuck out. Don't be trying to, are you really black? I ain't never heard that shit in my life till I got on YouTube. Been a Negro every day, everywhere I've ever been. Ain't nobody ever been confused till I got to YouTube and somebody want to get on some light-skinned dumb shit. The fuck up out of here. Everybody in here know I'm black. Like, are you Arabic? What? What about me is Arabic? No, I'm not Arabic. I'm black Chicagoan. That's what I am. I'm Negro Chicagoan. What the heck? I ain't never heard that shit in my life until I got on YouTube. Never in my life. And now I'm hearing that shit. Like, man, come on, man. Get out of here with that cornball shit. Anyway, back on the shit. Yes. So I think that it is best to look at the last 3 years of somebody's career to determine whether or not they, belong in the pound for pound. Okay. 3 years, 6 fights. If you look at it that way, does Spence still fight Crawford if somebody beats him first? Much love in that super chat. That, my friend, depends on who him is. If Errol Spence Jr. gets beat first, fuck no, Terence Crawford is not going to beat him. Hell no. No way in hell. Not a motherfucking bit of chance. No way. No how. Never. Not a nip. Any word you got in any motherfucking language for no. That's the fucking answer for Terence Crawford trying to fucking fight Errol Spence Jr. if Errol Spence Jr. loses. If it's the other way around, yes. Errol Spence would fight Terence Crawford even if he lost. So says the personality, my observation of them dudes' personalities. Man, Errol Spence wants to fight dudes when he ain't got no business fighting them. He want to fight Terence Crawford coming off of a motherfucking car flip in over 12 times. Shit, if somebody walks up and asks to fight Terence Crawford, but he got garlic on his breath, Terence Crawford will tell that motherfucker no to the fight. There's no way I missed the super chat, dog. No way that I missed the super chat. I have been on my super chat game today. Ramsey Sutton said, Debo voice, what 1.5? Yeah, I did miss that shit. I'm sorry because I read it. I thought I did. I'm sorry. What 1.5? Dog, exactly. What 1.5? That was pre-pandemic. No, it was not pre-pandemic. Dog, be just mixing shit up. No, the $1.5 million that I'm talking about was Terence Crawford was going to pay Kell Brook $1.5 million. Gary Russell Jr. said, hey, I'll take that $1.5 million. And then Devin said, I got $1.5 million for you. So the $1.5 million was during the pandemic, dog. During the pandemic. He said he had $1.5 million. He said it. And I wanted to say, dude, you have access to. If I would have tipped him on his shoulder and say access to, but he didn't qualify. He didn't qualify it. It was an unqualified, I got the money. And that ambiguousness, you got to go with what people would believe, a reasonable person would believe. If you're walking around a big ass mansion and your son is driving or taking pictures with at least what is that shit? A Lamborghini SUV. Man, it is very reasonable for people to believe that you mean you got 1.5. But when you come back and say you don't, and then a couple days later come back and say that it's hard out there and Devin's spending too much money, like, come on, man, that's like three different stories. It's like three different stories in a row. Blah, blah, blah. Like, blah, different stories. That ain't on me. Bill Haney don't want to repeat that. Floyd and okay, cool. I got that. Ba-da-da-da-da. I got that. That's my man GID. Much love in that super chat, GID. He said, you don't look Arab anyway. Exactly. Like, yeah. No. Maybe I'm overexposed or something on his show. What's going on? Larry Ibrahim Smith says, salute Fannon. Errol Spence is my number one pound for pound. Yes, sir. Let's get back on that. Much love in that super chat. So, yes, let's get it. Let us get back on the subject at hand, which is the comparison of the last 6 fights between Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford to determine who would be number one pound for pound if they fight their next 2 opponents. Do you follow me? After their next fights, who will have the better resume and the most accomplishments within the last 6 fights between the 2 of them? And between the last 6 fights is, I believe, a very fair, reasonable time frame, 3 years, because it allows you not to claim shit you did way back before somebody else even went pro. Okay, 3 years. We have for Terence Crawford in his last 6 fights, green beans, Oh, no. Last 5 fights, because then we have their next fights. So the last 5 fights for Terence Crawford were Igis Kalvanakis, Amir Khan, Jose Benavidez, Jeff Horn, Julius Ndungo. Errol Spence's last 5 are Sean Porter, Mikey Garcia, Carlos Ocampo, Lamont Peterson, Kell Brook. The next fight for Errol Spence will be right there. I think it's heavy Errol Spence, right? So let's look at the 5. Sean Porter versus, what's that dude's name? Igis Kalvanakis, Sean Porter. Amir Khan or Mikey Garcia? Mikey Garcia. So Errol has the last 2. Let's go to the one before that. Jose Benavidez, Carlos Ocampo. That's a wash. That's a wash. Wash. Neither one of them dudes had a shot at that shit. One had his leg shot, one first time he ever showed up in America. That's even. Before that, Lamont Peterson, Jeff Horn. Again, even. Jeff Horn, one-hit wonder. Lamont Peterson, kind of worn towards the end of his career. I'll give it that even credit for those. Before that, Kell Brook, Julius Ndungo. That, my friends, is Errol Spence. So, over the last 5 fights, you have 3-0-2. 3 for Errol, 0 for Bud, 2 that are a tie. And then the next one you'll have Danny Garcia or either Igis Kalvanakis or Kell Brook. In either one of those situations, advantage Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. they'll be 4-0-2 in the last 6 fights when you compare his resume to Terence Crawford. That is enough to be number 1 pound for pound. And that is a better record over the last 6 fights than anybody in boxing. Anybody in boxing. Name somebody that has that level of wins in their last 6 fights. That's a champion. Not somebody that's getting their ass whooped and losing. Tay Brown said, greetings, Fannon. Thank you. Man, I love that picture. Thank you. Thank you. Much love in that super chat. Much love in that super chat. Man, Johnny Player. Thank you, man. Thank you for joining the channel, man. I appreciate you so much. Make sure you go check out those videos. I'm going to start doing videos that, I'm not going to put on the main channel just because, dude, I don't want to do that because it attracts, audiences that I don't really want to mess with. But I do want to talk about fights like Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez and those type of things. When I do those videos, those will be on the members channel. But much love in that super chat, man. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. And Joshua Tabak said, top 2 pound for pound are 1, Errol Spence Jr., 2, Jermell Charlo, because they fight everyone and are at the most competitive weight classes, 3, Lomachenko. Wow, you know what? Jermell Charlo, that argument is for another day because, like I said, I am stealing the intellectual property of BFTB because the way he is organizing his channel is excellent, excellent, excellent work, man. Excellent work. Find BFTB, subscribe to BFTB. If you like harsh language, if you don't like harsh language, and you really just like the intellectual stuff is in the first half of the video. The beatdowns begin at the halfway with about an hour left in the show. So, you know, for all the people that will not show up to BFTB's channel, although I said, hey man, go to BFTB, They never show up at BFTB's place. You know what I mean? They say they're the best debaters on YouTube in boxing. And I say the best debater is me. However, I'm retired. And since I'm retired from battle boxing, battle rap boxing, or whatever you call that when y'all go at each other, the best on the block is BFTB. And y'all keep asking me, why y'all say BFTB? Because BFTB is the best. BFTB is the best. Y'all can't hang with that dude. Try him out. Y'all ain't going to show up. Anyway, much love in that super chat, man. Much love in that super chat. Said that pick, Trapper Die, you funny. Tory P. Gunn said, Sean Porter and Ugas whoops up on Terence fighting nobody's Crawford. And bro, you American Indian, my bro. Hey, man, come on. I can't say that because my mother's family literally came from Greece. So they really are from there. Okay, I can't, although I am 100% Negro, you know, there is a considerable chunk of my family that do not come from this country. So, I mean, there's that, you know what I mean? But also, I'm quite sure I am connected. My wife is definitely Native American. She has just for real. The people that you're talking about, because I do listen. My wife is one of those people for sure that is just American. She's just from here. And you know what I mean? And they kind of blended into the black community, but they really are, you know, straight up, whatever that Choctaw, like straight up and down Choctaw. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much about that. Much love in that super chat. Thank you, Tory P. Gunn. Now, yeah, BFTB so cold, he keeps people from staying on his channel because of him cooking trolls in the chat. Oh yeah, dude, just the mainstay, of the late afternoon, early evening, mainstay. Must watch that. I'm there. Hey, check me out. I'm in the chat all the time. Anyway, now let's get back to this. So, as you see, dog, that record, I do not know how Terence Crawford is going to have the ability to stay at that, or Lomachenko either. Oh, but Lomachenko is tough. That's the thing. That's why I said he may jump Terence Crawford. Lomachenko is still tough, especially if he beats Teofimo Lopez. Because what he's done at lightweight, and let's go over his last 6 fights, and we'll see. We'll do the comparison. Oh, actually, yeah, we'll do the comparison. My man, A. said, great comparisons. Errol is the truth. Errol is my #1 pound for pound. You are on that grind, big brother. Who comes from this country but the Native Americans? Absolutely. Hey, you know, they're on a subject. They're on an interesting subject. I'll put it that way. Like, much love in the super chat. Just because I'm so not used to it that it's like it's something that I would really have to study and get my head around, and that I have no doubt whatsoever could be very, very true. It's just that I have not looked into it closely enough because I'm kind of stuck on, I know damn well I'm black because they keep calling me a nigga. You know what I mean? That's kind of like me. Like, because, you know, I can say that I'm mixed or something like that and just kind of play with that. You know, at the end of the day, dude, you just black. That's why I got so little sympathy for that argument about mixed people. And my wife is like, well, you don't know. And I'm like, nah, yeah, but I know. Y'all's a nigga. She ain't mixed, but I'm like, nah. But anyway, much love in that super chat. Thank you, sir. It was black people here first, Fannon. There are black people everywhere here first. That's without a doubt. If you mean in that regard, for sure. Absolutely. The old McHeads, all that stuff. But look, I just don't want to talk about that in the live stream. That's Patreon. And I'm really trying to be much more tight about that so I don't rip off the people that do come by the Patreon, that are members of the Patreon. I don't want to rip them off. Now, back to this thing. Lomachenko and Errol Spence Jr., the last 6 fights. I think right now that Errol's got him. like I just started talking. I'm like, nah, he gets him at Sean Porter. Like, there's no need to go all through him because there's a Sean Porter, there's a Kell Brook, there's a Sean Porter, there's a Kell Brook, and there would be a Danny Garcia. Nah, and there's a Lamont Peterson. All that shit is better than what Lomachenko's doing. Teofimo Lopez is still green. Jorge Linares has been knocked out 2 times at a lower weight class. Rocky Fieldhand, not right, is it? No, what's his name? Anthony $1 Million Corrala was raggedy. You know what I mean? So was Jose Pedraza was a good fighter, but he got laid out by Tank. And before that was, I don't know, who was that before? Who was that? Who was before that? Somebody like maybe Rigondeaux? Maybe Rigondeaux was that other one. So that he moved up weight classes, but that's a good one. But that's not like any of those. So nah, he's got him. Todd French says a fight between Spence and Bud will happen when the reasons become inconsequential. That fight doesn't take place until it has no chance to usurp Floyd's legacy. Fannon, the absolute Don the man. Thank you, man. Much love for that super chat. Todd French. Yeah, you really do gotta take that into consideration with him, man. You with Floyd, you gotta take the Floyd factor into consideration, man. Let me sit on this super chat for a second. Yeah, man, you really do have to take the Floyd thing into consideration now, because nah, man, he's just too influential just to be like, well, it's just Al Heyman. I mean, like now that it doesn't even, it just sounds stupid to me. Like something that I had said from time to time, but I never really sat on it because I don't want to disrespect Al Heyman, because I do think that dude is really obviously a hammer. But, you know, there's a bully in the playground, man. There's got to be a bully in the playground. You can't tell me Floyd ain't going to be in somebody's ear for doing some shit that he don't want to get done. You know, or if there's a certain amount of budget and things for fighters and all of that stuff, that those fighters that are with him aren't going to get preferential treatment. I mean, it's just real, real hard for me to believe that, you know? Anyway, so when we talk about these fights, cool, but Terence Crawford, oh no. Terence Crawford's still on the hook because of shit Terence Crawford said. You know what I mean? He's on the hook for because of what he said. And he ain't getting off in no time soon. Much love in that super chat to my man C Cut. I told y'all I was gonna be on these super chats today. Y'all keeping me honest, y'all keeping me active. Bud always fights as mandatory, but he won't fight Porter. He's ducking by saying he only won champions, but his last 4 fights, none of them had a belt. Yeah, and here's the problem. There's another problem here, man. Let me sit on this super chat for a second, and then I'll get back to the do you think black people are extraterrestrials? I think black people are a construct of white people. And other than that, we are people. So there you go. You know what I'm saying? That's all. That's what I think about black people. I think we are I think black is what you become when you're within the gaze of white people. You become black. Other than that, dude, you walk around with your dudes. You don't be talking about, oh, I'm black. Hey, you don't look at people in the room with you who are black in the room with you and consciously think, oh, they're black. It's only when the idea of a white person comes up do you put yourself within that framework of being black. You are black just opposed to white. You know what I mean? That's what that is. So there you go. All right. Oh, wow, man. Much love in that super chat. He said, we got to have a convo. I'll teach you. Watch my videos. About what? You'll teach me what? Much love in that super chat. Put down in the thing what you're going to teach me. But love to know it. Johnny Player said, if we go this hard on Bud, if we going this hard on Bud in the pound for pound, we got to hold that duck Canelo to the same standards. Johnny Player, I threw his ass out of my pound for pound 2 years ago because of that computer all shit. Nah, dog, I don't want to hear this shit. No. Eat some fucking shrimp. Eat some shrimp. If it's common, if it's very common, then don't eat the shit. I could understand if it was some super rare occurrence, you know what I mean? Of like a bad batch where a warning went out to the country, bad batch, poisoned meat, don't eat it, computer all laced. No, if everybody knows it's there, don't eat it. It's your responsibility, dog. Guess what? There are also very common in all over the place. Steroids. Just because it's very common doesn't mean you should use it. He got his ass caught, and that's that. And his ass is the fuck up off that pound for pound list, even though I rock with Canelo. Canelo can fight, but dog, man, you don't be walking up at 175 looking like Bruce Banner mid-transition to the Hulk. You know what I mean? Like stage 2 of buffing. No. He's off the list. Been off the list. And I like him a lot as a fighter, but he's been off my list. No cheaters on my list. No cheaters on my list. Because somebody got to draw a line, damn it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to keep giving people chances. Y'all give people chances. The WBC is Captain Save a Hoe. Captain Save a Cheat. That's them. It ain't got to be me. His ass is the fuck up out of there. He already got the WBC holding his hand. He don't need me holding his hand. Get up out of here. Tyson Fury, you're a drug cheat too. Get out. You no way. Not because you're a heavyweight. I'm not putting you on my pound for pound list anyway. But even if you were, had an opportunity to be, fuck up out of here with that cheating shit. And that's besides the other cheating shit that I've seen. Keep doing what you're doing. Stand on that shit. What's going on, KQKC, in that super chat, man? Much love, man. Subscribe to KQKC Boxing and check him out. Coming on in about. When do you come on? 1 o'clock. Coming on at about 1 o'clock. So everybody's familiar with KQKC. Make sure you guys go to KQKC. I'm going to cook till about 1:30. And then after that, go over there for anybody else that decides to kick it with your boy. Great channel there, KQKC. And I think I rolled by super chat terribly. Cano Loco Sports says, salute Fannon. Much respect. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you too. Thank you. Thank you very much, man. Fannon, you from the Chi, me to South Side Inglewood. Yeah, I'm from Chicago, but you know, KQKC is from Inglewood. Tory Gunn, that's where KQKC's from. I'm from downtown, like westerns. I was from the western suburbs originally, and then we moved down, like literally, like block. You know what I mean? Right at Randolph. We lived right over there, like where Randolph hits. You know where Randolph goes past Michigan, and then you go up towards Lakeshore Drive, like those buildings over there. That's where I lived when I was in Chicago. Like that area. What's going on? KQKC, that's what's up. Yeah, KQK, she always on fire, man. Yeah, the one drop rule, man. Yeah, exactly, man. So anyway, let's get back. Much love for that super chat and them super chats. So Harbor Point, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I used to live in Harbor Point. The building, like right next to the one where Farrakhan, like you go up and you turn left, the one that's right up there, the one that's like right over Lakeshore Drive, those two buildings, I lived the one that would be to the east or to the west building, whatever the name of that building is. Yeah, past Aeon. Yeah. And you go up past the Aeon Center. Yeah. Yeah, you go up past the Aeon Center. But the Aeon Center is first. So like if you want to take that exit so where you can go down, get on Lakeshore Drive and head out and head north or south on Lakeshore Drive, it's the next one. You just keep going up. G. Bradford said, Lake Point Tower. Yeah, Lake Point Towers. It was Lake Point. I can't remember the name. It was just always that. But yeah, man, my fuck Bradford said wealthy fam. That's where I live. For now, keep doing that good work, Chi-Town love. That's what's up. Thank you, Marlon Cosby. Yeah. We used to do it in the Chi. Yeah, we did it in the Chi. Yeah, we did it in the Chi. Love the Chi. Get some TF. All right, so look, man, back to it. So yeah, for sure. For sure. I think that I think BFTB is really on to something. I think he is just like, yeah, Errol Spence takes it, man. But the rumor is that, oh, I got to tell you, Paulie Malignaggi, Showtime. Showtime's getting some pushback from that media. I told you that boxing media is shady. That boxing media is shady. Like, I was on, what is the Raging Babe? She's a promoter, like a Puerto Rican or Afro-Rican. I don't know. She's like Afro-Rican, Black Puerto Rican. I don't know. She says both, so I don't know what that means. Anyway, she's Puerto Rican, and she's a promoter out of New York. And she was like, they released the schedule, like a schedule for all of Showtime's fights to these reporters, like these media people, and none of the media people released them. And the media people didn't release them. You media people are some hoes. Some straight up and down hoes. Said, nah, Lake Point is off Grand in Illinois. Yeah, Lake Point didn't sound right. I can't remember. I asked my mother. Can't remember the name of that building. It's been so long. You know what I mean? It's been so long. And then I lived in a couple of them. So I'm just trying to give you the area because we lived in a couple of them. What do you think about Floyd and Logan nonsense? Ari Boxing. So what do you think about Floyd and Logan nonsense? I think it's a sneak diss. I thought it was a sneak diss. At first, I thought it was bullshit. I thought it was a joke because he is having a fight with YouTubers. Because people are like, nigga, you blocking this fucking fight. He's having fights with YouTubers, all right. Looking like shit out of here with these YouTubers. I thought that shit was a motherfucking analogy or something. Anyway, as far as it being a reality, man, that shit ain't happening. That's bullshit. That's just bullshit. Like, beyond bullshit. He ain't fighting no Jake Paul or Logan Paul or nobody else like that. That shit would be a joke. Nobody would pay for that. Jake Paul, Logan, and Floyd Mayweather Jr. on pay-per-view would only do 100,000 pay-per-views if Floyd Mayweather Jr. bought all that shit himself. Hell no. He did 300,000 pay-per-views fighting Andre Berto. You know what I'm saying? And Andre Berto is Raging Babe is racist. I don't think she is. Just motherfuckers got opinions. It's whatever. She can't be racist in my book. She's black. Whether she wants to say she's Puerto Rican or not, she's non-white. So the fact that she has a prejudice don't mean jack shit. You know what I mean? Means exactly jack shit. She is not a white supremacist because she is not white. And that, my friends, is the distinction that matters in my book. So I don't got no problem with the chick. Bud sent an offer to Josecito Lopez with the PBC. Why couldn't he send a counter offer to Thurman or offer for Porter? If he take Porter out, the Spence fight is closer. Moore should push for that. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think he should sit this fight out. Bud's next move, if he has to fight Egas Kalbanakis, he should sit out the year. He should sit out the year, man, until something comes available. Because a rematch, if he rematches Egas Kalbanakis, dog, I can't tell you how bad he's going to get talked about. He's going to get talked about so bad, like seriously, I'm afraid for it. I'm afraid for it. I think I might just start saying, like, on a daily basis, just a little prayer. Just please, please, please do not let any more foolishness happen to Bud Crawford's career. Okay. And encumbrance in that, included in that is that Bud does not have a rematch with Green Beans. Because that would not be but a half a step up or an eighth of a step up from a rematch with Amir Khan. And Egas Kalbanakis said, you ain't got nobody else to fight. So you got to still fight me. The guy, whatever his name is, that Igis Kavanaugh's beat, was saying, if I beat him, I want Bud. So Top Rank is already hinting at the fight. They're already hinting that that fight can take place. But oh, the media letting not reporting Showtime schedule because ESPN is suffering. The Zone is suffering. They don't have a constructive relationship with the press. Man, dog, y'all are whack as shit for not putting that schedule out, man. Y'all tweet anything. If Adrian Bronner farted in a grocery store, you motherfuckers would be there. Right there reporting that shit. Misreport what Deontay Wilder says and taking it out of context. Now we know that 78 is now clarified exactly what it was. They took what he said out of context. He said my legs were weak. My legs were so weak that even my helmet bothered me. Even walking in with that bothered me. But it was just a way to explain, for Deontay Wilder to explain that his legs were sore. His legs were sore before he put the suit on, during the time he had the suit on, and after he had the suit on. But you act like he made an excuse with the suit. I'm so happy that I got that clear explanation now, so that we can just run these media dudes. Media dudes. That's what I'm telling you. I'm a boxing fan. I am no type of media. None. Not any type. None. Not left media, not right media, nothing. Okay? Just me. Just my opinion. And my opinion is these media dudes be shady as shit. Shady as shit. And the fact, people, what are you trying to say? Oh, I'm sorry. What is that, D-Style? I don't know what that is. You're not talking to me, D-Style. What's going on, D-Style? Oh, safe to say it can't get worse than this. Oh, it can get worse. Classic D-Style. That shit was fucking classic. Classic. Go D-Style Boxing, man. I wish I could tell them. I wish I remember the name of the live stream that you did that shit on, and I am not going to steal it. But, dog, you are 100% right. With boxing, you cannot say shit won't get worse than this. Because, damn it, it will. They are dead set on making it worse. Man, it don't work, dog. Man, it don't work. All right, so where were we? Oh, yeah, them crooked-ass media dudes. Crooked-ass media dudes. Not reporting, not telling people what the schedule for Showtime is. So, but I bet you if it doesn't do well, they'll be the first ones to tell you that the numbers weren't good. Because you're trying to bully people, man. See, that's why you don't need to fuck with the media, man. I'm telling you. You already have enough information to talk to boxing fans. That's all you need is to talk to other boxing fans, because we all read the newspaper. We all can see the schedule when it comes out. There's no magical way to go about that. LDBC, oh, I like that. Eddie Towns. The LDBC too. No, the LDBC is not the media. And this is what is really hard for people to get their heads around. It is the Lions Den boxing community. It is a community of boxing fans. It was originally a debate forum on 78 Sports TV's channel, Lions Den boxing community. It was a group of people on his channel that had a debate forum. And then it grew because it was so fucking good. And it expanded in a community. But it's never been the media. 78 has never been the media. He's always been a fan. So the LDBC is not the media. Okay? There may be people that are media that negotiate with the LDBC, but that's not the LDBC. And that's why you always hear them say new media, Black Murderers Row, or Black Media's Row. That's why they say that. Because that's the media portion. But the media stuff, that's not LDBC. We're just a boxing community. We're the fans that the media want to watch. The media wants you, the fan, to watch them. They want me to watch them. Right? That's what media is. I am a fan who is a part of a community called the Lions Den boxing community. And this is my opinion. I'm not seeking to tell you that anything other than that. If you find any information on it, this channel about boxing, it is given to you because I'm making a comment about it. I'm not breaking news. I'm not none of that shit. I'm not. Okay? I'm giving you my opinion. I'm chopping it up about this boxing. That's what we doing. Goodbye, Eddie. Thanks, Eddie. You get one. Hey, look, warning. When I answer your question, you're either gonna get you're gonna get an answer, but there's a 50-50 chance you're gonna get booted too. Because when I boot you, I will say something to you when I boot you. You will know exactly why I threw you out. So can't nobody tell me that you don't know why you got thrown out. Oh, Fannon, you blocked me and I don't know why. No, I blocked you and I told you why. Stop fucking with the name of you trying to fucking get me into some dumbass conversation. It was very, very clear what I said. It was very, very clear what I said. We are a boxing community. And it is whatever it is to 78 is unique to 78 because he is the copyright owner. He's the trademark owner. If you try to use LDBC, you are using his trademark. And if he doesn't approve it, you have to remove it. That's how that goes. And it's not anything other than somebody owning a trademark and having a lot of respect. Because along with that trademark comes a lot of people. A lot of people. When you say LDBC and you ride with the LDBC and you're accepted in the LDBC, that comes with a lot of people. Because we're a community. That's what it means. LDBCs means we're a lot of people. That's how, matter of fact, let me give you a functional definition of the LDBC that will work for you. The LDBC is a shitload of boxing fans. How about that? It's a shitload of boxing fans. It's not one person. It's a shitload of boxing fans. Not 100, not 200, not 1,000, not 5,000, not 10,000, not 20,000. A lot of fucking people. Which is why if your shit is fucking up and people start firing on you, why it gets ugly. Because there's so many people that are real views that come in from real people. So it may not look as pretty on the outside sometimes, but on the inside, it is extremely communicative because it is actually real. The LDBC is a shitload of fans, a shitload of them. Dog, I can't go to a boxing match without taking pictures. For real. I walked through a boxing match and took more pictures than the boxers. It's a shitload of boxing fans. Believe it. Believe it. You want to put some old, no. Okay, it's not 3 or 4 boxing channels. It's not 3 or 4 boxing channels. Okay? It's 3 or 4 stacks. Is a stack 1,000? What's a stack? What's a 10,000? Is a 10,000 a stack? What's a rack? What's a stack? I don't know street money. Hey, in street lingo, tell the old nerd. In street lingo, what is 10,000? King Poppy, salute to you. What's 10,000? 1,000's a rack? 30 racks. We 30 racks. We 30 racks. But 30 racks doesn't really flow like 50 racks. You know what I mean? But we about 30 racks. About 30 racks. Strong 30 racks. 10 bands. But that's what it is. It's a lot of motherfucking people. I'll put it that way. I've got the list. I have the names. I have names. Okay? I have names. 10K is small cake. No, it's not. Let me tell you why it's important. 10K is a small, 10K is a small cake. Okay. All right, cool. But yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, 30K. But yeah, that's what I would call 30K. But it's about 30K. About 30. About 30. And you can touch about 10%. You can touch about 10, 15% at any given time. Like this is the LDBC. You 653, this is LDBC. This 653, this is the LDBC. Maybe 600 is the LDBC. We missing maybe 200. We missing about 200 in the morning for the morning. Because I'm not the biggest, because 78 ain't, because this show's not 78. If this was just single 78 right now in this time slot, you'd probably have 800. You might have 850 in here if it was 78. In this time slot, really focused on boxing. They'll come out for him more so than they would come out for me if he was really doing it like that. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. That's what we are. Don't get confused. You know what I mean? That's what it is. John Page in the building. What's good, man? I don't see you over there. But let me see, man. What else we talking about? What we talking about? Yeah, so yeah, your boy's looking out here looking kind of shady, dog. Hit me with the questions, man. Hit me with the questions. And yeah, if you're gonna hit the likes or do shit like that, that'd be great. Yeah, man. A man or a ticket is $1 million. Hit me with some questions, man. Paul Carey said you get the truth from the LDBC. Yeah, from the channels, for sure. And there's a lot of really good channels too. And the beauty of it is, dude, they're all kind of size channels that you can really get good content from, man. And that's the thing that I try to push on. It's like, man, don't let the numbers fool you, man. There's really good content where you can go to live streams and have really great conversations about boxing. And there's like 20 people in there, 25 people in there. You know what I mean? If D-Style would read his comments better, you would get immediate responses. Fucking with D-Style. But D-Style shit is the shit. Okay? D-Style show is the shit. Like, he had me like crunched over sometimes, man. And it's like something and he's not LDBC. I'm sorry. He's not the LDBC. He is just in the community of boxing channels that are really great boxing channels, smaller boxing channels. I got to clarify that. You know what I mean? Nor has he ever said he is, but he's a fucking great channel, dude. Great channel. You dig? Kansas City Mac, what's good, man? How you feeling, man? How you feeling? So Chris Foster said, Errol Spence, #1 pound for pound, Dallas, Texas, baby. You2 for 9, #1 POD cat podcast. Sorry, you got to say that, man. Don't put it out there like that, dog. But I appreciate the comment, man. I appreciate that comment, man. Fannon, do you think that the diversity issues will cause Canelo to forgo federal court and refile in a California state court? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Oh, and then let me put it this way. I don't see why that would be the case because DAZN is definitely not. Where is Canelo domiciled? California? It's going to be, it doesn't matter. It's definitely going to be New York because a member of the board for, let me get into this. I gotta explain before I fucking answer the question. This is the diversity issue. In order to get into federal court, you have to have a complaint that the damages exceed like $7,500, and also you have to have diversity of citizenship, which means your domicile, like the state that you file taxes in, right, is your domicile. That's the state that even if you own multiple homes, you have a domicile in one place. The place where you have domicile, that is where you are for the sake of this state. So you can have a guy that is in New York, a guy that is in the UK, but the UK is really, that's different. I don't know the conflict of law issue when it comes to like somebody that's overseas, but I think that they're doing Matchroom USA, which is in New York. So you definitely have New York and California. So there's no way it's going to go to, I can't see it going to a state court to California because Canelo is in California and Oscar De La Hoya is in California. Actually, Oscar De La Hoya is in California. DAZN's in New York. That's it right there. So I don't think it will. The question will be whether or not he refiles it. Would be whether or not he actually wants to expose the members themselves, whoever they may be, to liability. That's at least how I see it. But again, like I said, I'm not a litigator. That's just my opinion. Donald's 64-year-old Grant said Gary is an experienced ring technician. Yeah, man, it was really Gary. Man, thank you for that great question, for that great statement, and then I will expound upon that great statement. Yeah, that's something else, man. That was something else too. Dog, Gary Russell Jr., man, might have won that fight, man. I'm telling you, he might have won that fight. He might have won that fight. And actually, dude, like, Devin is going to an easier fight with Yuriorkis Gamboa. I can't, and nobody can tell me that Yuriorkis Gamboa is going to put up a better fight with Devin Haney than Gary Russell Jr. is. Yuriorkis Gamboa almost has like a puncher's chance with Devin Haney. But if Devin Haney has problems with Yuriorkis Gamboa, which I don't think he will, I just don't think. I think Gary could have caused some problems, dog, because Gary's not going to follow him around. Yuriorkis Gamboa is not going to follow him around either, though. He won't follow him around, but he's just shop worn and done. You know what I mean? Like, Yuriorkis Gamboa is just done. Nobody takes him. He's not a world champion. He's not anybody that anybody wants to see fight. Really. Like, Yuriorkis, I'm only happy Yuriorkis Gamboa is fighting. So I'm like, all right, good. He made it past all that dumb shit with Rock Nation. And, he's eating. Because I worry about them Cuban fighters. Because, man, it's tough on them dudes unless they're in PBC. Which, by the way, hats off to the PBC for that. They treat those Cuban fighters very, very well. Al Heyman and the PBC treat them Cuban fighters very, very well. So, that must be stated. They keep them busy, they keep them active. But other than that, I don't give a shit about Yuriorkis Gamboa. I want to see I'd rather see the Gary Russell Jr. fight. For sure, after all this shit been talking. I wanted to see if all those body shots that Devin was cocking back to land can land. You know what I mean? Because, dog, them cocking back on them shots a little bit, dog. You winding up just a little bit. Not winding up, but you cocking back a little bit. You cock back like that, dog, Gary ain't gonna land flush on Gary with that, dog. And walking into people like the way he does like that Mayweather thing, and he just keeps people on a rope following him and stops and hits them, keeps them on the rope, stops, hits them, gets their momentum. Dog, that's not Gary Russell Jr., man. That's not Gary Russell Jr. And if Gary Russell Jr. can slip and get inside that jab, he's going to touch Devin Haney something nice. For sure. Because of the hand speed advantage. But he just has to get around the jab. If he can get around the jab and get to the inside, that fight can be more than you think. Because I would take Gary on the inside fight. Like on inside fighting, I might take Gary on that. If Devin doesn't really have enough, especially if Devin's got to cock back to get power. And that Shakur Stevenson sparring match, that was really ugly. Like, that was bad. I don't know when that was, but that was really bad. Shakur really did beat Devin. Pot-shotting Devin. And Devin shouldn't be able to be pot-shotted. But maybe he was working on that. Like, maybe that was what he was working on that day, and he decided he was just going to plod forward and get sucker punched by Shakur Stevenson. Not sucker punched, but, just pot-shotted. I don't know, man. I don't know. That whole conversation made me look at people's fights and go through all of that stuff. And Gary Russell Jr. is the tighter fighter. I think the obvious advantage Devin Haney has is that he is bigger. But as far as the skill in the ring, that's up for question, man. That's up for Bill English said 75 grand. What's 75 grand? We were talking about money easier. 19 stacks. Real Talk said, duty of care, cat paw. Thank you, man. Much love in that chat. Man, dog, y'all having 78 called me. He was like, man, what the fuck is a cat's paw? I almost ate. I'll spit out my water. I said, man, what is a cat's paw? What's this cat's paw shit people talking about? Like, look, man, this is all it is. Oh, okay. Motherfuckers trying to start shit with that shit. I don't know if they was super. You might have been super chatting that. Duty of care is a cat's paw. Yeah, but you can be known too as one. You know, you ain't gotta be. You don't have to hide it. You don't have to. You know, that's what I would do. Oh, I have an idea about what I think would make boxing a better make boxing better, and it's actually something that is doable. I think that a federal commission, whoever the federal commission that is appointed by the Muhammad Ali Act, which I think is the ABC, like the American boxing, like the American, it's like this, whatever, Association of Boxing Councils, Commissions, Association of Boxing Commissions, the ABC. I think they should mandate that all of the sanctioning bodies have uniform rules and specifically have published criteria for their ranking systems. Published transparent criteria for their ranking systems. Because something as BFTB so just savantly, is savantly a word, just so nitty gritty like he got, going through Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford's resume and how their rankings and when they got ranked and where they got ranked. And he did a code for like ranking jumps that looked funny. Like, how do you, hey, if the number 11 is fighting the number 16, how does the winner become number 3 and pass up the number 4 that just got done beating the number 8? How does that work? Well, if you look at what's going on, Lonnie DiCarlo, but I don't think you're talking to me. But what's good, man? Let me go down here a little bit, man. Make sure I'm not missing nothing. Matthew Valentine said, "Can John Page get a wrench?" I can't. He's got a member, and he's Gary Russell Jr. He talks for Gary Russell Jr. I can't give a professional fighter a wrench. That's a conflict of interest. He would be bashing people that I would never give Devin Haney a wrench on my channel. I would not give so he is a Page member and a loyal Page member and always has an open, but you know what I'm saying? I gotta keep my he might try to sneak me or something with that wrench, dog. John Page. John Page is a real deal, dog. He's up there with the big what do you call it? He's up with the big wigs. Yeah, I can give him a super fucking chat. I can give him one. Yes. Of course I can. Of course I can. I can do what I want to do. Of course I can get John Page a wrench, dog. So don't nobody touch John Page. Where John Page at? There you go, dog. Moderator. All right. Now you are moderator. There you go. I believe in conflicts of interest. See, now but I paid him. There you go. It doesn't work. I gave him a wrench. He didn't give me a wrench on his channel. That would have been the issue. But of course I can give John Page a wrench, man. That is without a doubt. Without a doubt. Of course I can give John Page a wrench. Fucking with y'all. Fucking with y'all. John Page, a big old play out in the Beltway. You know how it is. That motherfucker baller, dog. I got a baller with a wrench. Of course I can give the baller the wrench, dog. Handle himself with aplomb. Handle himself with dignity and aplomb. Listen to Batman, Antoine, and Antonio Russell are beasts. Much love in that super chat, man. I would give Bill Haney a wrench, but I think he might be mad at me. I think he might not want to fuck with me no more. And I am sorry about that. I tried to be as fair as I could, and they kept fucking with me. And I really do still like the Haney family very much, but I had to let my whole opinion be laid out and all my logic, because me just saying, hey, I think it's Floyd, and it's not Devin, and it's not Gary, that didn't fly. You know what I'm saying? That didn't fly. People were not happy with that. I ain't got a wrench. Oh, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. What's wrong, I am Will? You do have a wrench. Something wrong with your screen? Something? Yes, sir. Fannon, do you think Eddie Hearn will protect Haney like he protected AJ? No, I do not believe that Eddie Hearn really has a lot of control over what's going to happen with Devin Haney. I think that they are probably I don't think he'll try to protect him at all. I don't think so. I think if anything, I don't think they'll. Devin Haney's just in a situation where the guys in his weight class won't fight him, and it's kind of messed up. Which was the thing that I Will says. Salute for now. Yeah, much love in that super chat, man. Of course you can, man. Of course you can, man. Of course you can. Johnny Player Paulie. Man, can we celebrate that Paulie Malignaggi is not going to be on these telecasts for the rest of the year? And that has to do something. Y'all hating because Paulie got his ass fired? Is that what the media is doing? Was that the reason why you guys aren't putting Showtime schedule out? Because they fired Paulie Malignaggi? Are you guys being petty? You better hope that this shit doesn't do good numbers and you didn't put that fucking schedule out. Okay? Double-edged sword when you're a dickhead, okay? If these numbers do the same that they did when you put the shit out, then it means you're worthless. Got that? You better hope that shit that you put in that schedule out actually fucking means something. Which I don't think it does. I don't think it means jack shit. Everybody that's going to watch that fight already knows about that fight. Because now it's just news. Player Paulie. Player. Fuck Paulie Player. I like Paulie. His commentary is good. Fuck Paulie. His politics are terrible. Fuck Paulie Malignaggi completely. Okay? Fuck Paulie Malignaggi. Fired his ass. Glad he fired his ass. I can actually now watch Showtime. Okay? So look, it was going to be way more irritating for people to support Paulie Malignaggi, to support these things, than you petty motherfuckers not putting out people's shit on Twitter. Petty shit. You know what I mean? Petty. But I understand petty because I am, like my friend BFTB, Team Petty. Which means come to BFTB's today be there at 4:30 Central Standard Time, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, and get that smoke. That's what I would like for y'all to see. I would like to see out of y'all. Yeah, bye-bye, Paulie. Bye-bye, Paulie. Bye-bye. We don't do no capping. What is that? Oh, John Page. He said, we don't do no capping. If he would have answered the call, we would have answered it. Yeah, of course. John Page. Yeah, and nah, dude. Look, man, we took the poll. We can now go back in the chat a little bit because there's some people in here who might not have heard it. But dude, we took the poll on the chat, dog. We took the poll, man. Ain't nobody buying that shit, man. Ain't nobody buying that shit. Ain't nobody buying that shit you cooking. Okay? And to be cooking it is not a good look. Do people often think, like sometimes I wonder if people really stop and think that when you support some shit that is blatant stupidity, that people might think that you're stupid? You ever wonder that? Like, if I go out here on the internet and I claim that a man is ducking a fight while he's in the middle of asking for it, will there be anybody that might think there could be a problem with that? And their conclusion might be that I'm a completely honest person. I'm just stupid. Because it is impossible to be in a negotiation, going back and forth, redlining and sending it back, where that can be a duck. No. Overpricing somebody and never responding to a request can be ducking, right? So take, for example, because there's a lot of duck talk going on, man. There's a lot of talk about ducks. So take, for example, the idea that somebody was ducking, that Devin Haney was ducking Gary Russell Jr. And Gary Russell Jr., and he offered, no, let's do somebody else. Somebody made an offer that was like Keith Thurman was trying to get, like when Keith Thurman offered $10 million to Terence Crawford. This is why I say that's a duck. Because when Terence Crawford, when they heard $10 million, what they said was, he's out of his mind. He doesn't want the fight. He's ducking. In my opinion, that is Terence Crawford ducking. Because Terence Crawford could have said, no. How about this much money? And then Keith Thurman could have said, no, how about this much money? Are we getting closer? And then Bob could say, hey, no, this much. King Poppy, way too much money. What does that mean? Tell him that you can pay him less. What's the problem? If somebody says, "Can I come to your house and eat dinner?" and they say, "Hey, can I have 2 steaks?" You can, and you only have 1. You can say, "No, I'm sorry, you can't have 2 steaks, but you can have 1." Will that work for you? And then that person can turn around and say, yes, hey, I'll take that steak. Thank you very much. Okay? But if somebody says, can I have 2 steaks? And then there's a steak sitting there and you say, no, you can't have 2 steaks. And then you take the 1 steak that's there and you throw it in the garbage can. Why wouldn't you ask him, will 1 do? And then, yes, give him it. The fact that you walk away from the first offer is a duck. That's a duck. You're claiming that somebody's being unreasonable when it's you that's being unreasonable. Got it? It's unreasonable to assume that somebody's going to do exactly what you tell them to do. And it's unreasonable to assume that somebody else assumes that you're going to do exactly what they tell them to do. You're in a negotiation. He comes high, you go low. You typically get more money when you go high. That's what the numbers say. The numbers say go high. That's why you always hear people say go high. Because over time, you're going to get more money if you go high because you force the person. First of all, you make the offer first and you go high. That is a textbook way to negotiate. Go first and go high. Because when you go first and go high, you set the frame of the negotiation. And since you've set it, it's going to tend towards a higher middle. You know what I mean? Because they have their low and you now set the high. Only they know what their low is. But you know what the high is. So now you're like, where will they move? Well, they may move way up away further from they may move way closer than they would have normally if you hadn't done it. That's just a business technique. But just to stop on that and walk away, it's silly. You don't want the fight. You know what I mean? You don't want the fight. That's duck. That's a duck. That's a duck. Talking about Crawford and Aram saying it is too much. They didn't want the fight right now. Yeah, they don't want the fight. Look, man. Terence Crawford told you that it was too much money from Keith Thurman, and from Sean Porter, he said that this wasn't the time, right? It wasn't the time. He has other things to do. Gary Russell Jr. was too small. No, I have in the past. I'm not recently. He said, Fannon, Hustle Guy said, Fannon, cook, King, cook, teaching and tearing, as my coach says. That's what's up. Yeah. Bill, what is this? Bill was trying to sell a car without the title. Oh my God, man. No, man, they didn't think he would take the option. My thing is they didn't think he'd take the option. They thought he'd walk away with that option. And he didn't. That was the whole thing right there. They thought that Gary Russell Jr. would walk away from those option years. But he didn't. And when he didn't, it was game over. Because you remember Bill agreed to pay-per-view. So really, they agreed to some shit that I don't even know if they ever even had any intent to follow through with. Because Batman, I do believe, with Bill, agreed to $1.5 million each and pay-per-view. We have not talked about pay-per-view since that agreement came up. But here's the thing. Pay-per-view with DAZN was never possible. The only way that you're going to have pay-per-view is if it's on Fox, which is what Batman was pushing towards. They walked off that agreement, that first agreement. They walked off that first agreement right away. And really didn't even want to negotiate with Batman, to tell you the truth. They really didn't even want to negotiate with Batman. Because they kept saying that he's not his brother. That he's not his brother. He's Cap. He's Cap. Like all over the place. The first thing was he's not his brother. Which is, like, if you remember that, man. Like, remember that. Remember all the stages. Which is why people are not buying that, man. And why people shouldn't be in the business of selling it. You shouldn't be in the business of selling that. It's a bad product, man. Bad product. And nobody believes it. It's like the king has no clothes. Nobody believes it, dude. Like, you're not this. The king has no clothes means, you don't look like a king when you butt naked, right? You look like everybody else, right? Walking butt naked down the street. The king has no clothes. You don't want to be the king has no clothes over there. No, that shit is ludicrous to believe. John Page said, Johnny Player, if another man talking about breaking your neck when he sees, then say you clout chasing his name, then offer to take less than nothing to fight him, where you see the capping at? He don't see no cap. There's no cap in there, dude. Johnny Player, there's no cap. There's no lie there. In order for there to be a lie there, let me answer the question. Johnny Player, where's the lie if you don't give him a chance? You're just guessing that he's lying. You have to wait till somebody actually doesn't do something that they say they would do to call him a liar. That's the thing. It's just rushing to it. Attempting to rush to the conclusion and fast talking. You know what I mean? And not letting people talk. Talking over the top of people. All of that, dude, man. People are grown-ups, man. People are grown-ups. It's not how that works. Especially on this channel. Because this channel, because of the nature of because of me and who I, and like just the type of people that would want to listen to me, none of them are going to fall for that, man. Think about this. Yesterday, this is why you can't pull this shit on the LDBC. You can't pull this shit on the LDBC. It's fucking possible. Oh, by the way, I remember now. Ether time. It is time to go in. It is time to go in. Some of the bitches, sit up here and do video after video about Tyson Fury Glovegate. Video after video after video after video about Glovegate. Right? Glovegate. I did videos about Glovegate. BFTB did videos about Glovegate. Everybody did videos about Glovegate. Somehow, though, people that did video about Glovegate cannot see that Devin Haney's team tried to set up Gary Russell Jr. for the fall to make him look like a ducker. You can see that, but you can't see that. Let me tell you, everybody saw that shit real time with Bill Haney and Batman. Real time. It did not take some secret squirrel video from somebody breaking down tapes, looking for the specific instance where the glove moved to the side, or looked up and found a picture of when the glove showed its fucking hand. Not all that. People see it when he said it. It is right in your face. It is it is as obvious as it is that Tyson Fury won the second fight. You know why? Because Deontay Wilder had a towel thrown in. Everybody knows that the towel was thrown in. You can't argue about that. It is there. That is how blatantly obvious it is that Gary Russell Jr. is not ducking, because Gary Russell Jr. is still trying to make a fight. That's obvious. Tyson Fury's gloves took super fucking, it took people working to see that. But you believe that, but you don't believe this. No, dude. Either you don't believe that and you don't believe that. Or you don't believe, or you believe both. Because this is way more obvious than a microsecond of a glove crunching together. But it makes perfect sense to you. Right? People will run with I'm saying I believe the Glovegate shit. I believe it. You're willing to accept at face value that somebody poisoned or somebody put ibuprofen in Deontay Wilder's water, and that's the reason why his legs were hurt. You're willing to accept the explanation, the explanation or clarification for Deontay Wilder about the headgear thing. You're willing to support all of that, but you don't see that a guy that is still asking for a fight cannot be ducking. You are full of shit. You've got selective intelligence. Y'all are like a computer. When you turn some shit off, you get dumb as fuck. But when you get turned on, you can figure out any fucking thing. Man, get the fuck out of here. You know how goddamn hard it is to make an art to point out and convince people that Tyson Fury cheated? It took months of people going through that in detail before people were like, yeah, he cheated. But Gary Russell Jr. is getting set up right in front of your face. A southpaw, a black southpaw, can't get a fight, and you don't see that? No, dude, it makes you look disingenuous. It makes you look disingenuous. You cannot follow every cause, man. Sometimes you will be like Lemons. Off the shit. That's the Lemons thing. You know, all them birds that if one walks off the ledge, they all walk off the ledge because they just following the person in front of them and not looking around and thinking about what is actually being said and how ludicrous it is. And not only how ludicrous it is, how dangerous it is, and how hypocritical it is for somebody that is being ducked to call somebody to fake like he's getting ducked. Like, what the fuck? What is that? Why do you need Gary Russell Jr. to be ducking you? Lomachenko's ducking you. I would think that's all the ducking story that you need. Why add Gary Russell Jr. to it? Oh, because you popped off at the mouth and don't really got 1.5 million. And that's it. And that's it. But tear up Gary Russell Jr. though. And I'm talking to the media. I'm not talking about to Bill Haney, who's trying to get his money, or Floyd Mayweather Jr. is trying to get his money, or or whatever. But the people that see it, to act like you don't see it, dog, stop. Trying to buddy up to somebody or something. You're trying to win friends and brownie points. I mean, it's a losing effort. They can't be paying you that much. That's just some cornball shit, man. There's some cornball shit going on. And Eclectic Agitator, much love. And that's, hey, man, thank you for joining the channel, man. Thank you so much, man. So I'm just telling you, don't even act. Now look. I'm saying that. I'm telling you that. Ask him. Ask him. Ask him how you can believe in Glovegate, but you don't believe that Gary Russell Jr. is still trying to make that fight. How does that work? I'm saying, like, I can understand if you said bullshit to that and bullshit to this. Like, blood boxing is going to say bullshit to that and bullshit to this. Just going to tell you. He's going to say bullshit to that and bullshit to this. It's going to be consistent. He's not going to go off. And as far as ducking, oh, no, yeah, shit ain't going. It'll be no both ways. If it was me, if I didn't believe that this shit, I wouldn't. There's no way I could believe Glovegate. No way. You know what I mean? No way that I could believe Glovegate if I can't believe this. This is that much more obvious. This much more obvious. But yet, people, they can do video after video after video after video after video after video about video, looking in depth into racial issues and looking in depth into the cheating circumstances of Deontay Wilder, somehow can't figure out that Gary Russell Jr. is still trying to negotiate for the fight. How many days did you see Gary Russell pulls out of the fight in titles of videos? How many days did you see that? Like, right after they said they had agreed to something, Gary Russell Jr. turns down the fight. Next day, there's something going. Gary Russell Jr. turns down the fight. Gary Russell, now it's Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell Jr. stalling. Gary Russell Jr. stalling. Nah, dude, don't act like you want a fight that you don't really want because you're in a training camp for a fight that you already have. You already have a fight, man. Like, you already have a fight. You already have a fight date. This whole conversation that we're going through was going through in the middle of Devin Haney's training camp, right? The guy that doesn't have a fight is ducking the guy that is in training camp preparing for his fight. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's a wing argument. That's why you don't show up to BFTB. Don't act like you bigger than him. You went live the same time as him and had same numbers, dog. Same numbers on a live stream, dude, even though this dude got 3,000 subscribers and the cat's going on at the same time, got 100,000 and 20,000 and 30,000. All went live at the same time as BFTB last night, and BFTB still had 250 people in the building. You do not have a bigger channel than him. You've just bought more subs. That's it. You do not have a bigger channel than him. When he goes live, 250 people popped in. And guess what? All 250 of them come from this, are in this channel right now. And if you go live the same time he goes live, they will still go to his channel because that's where they've been going. You're not bigger than him. You're not bigger than BFTB. His reputation is legit. Who's BFTB? The dude y'all don't want to see. The dude you trying to act like ain't around. He only has 3,000 subs. Well, shit, you might only have 3,000 subs for all I fucking know. You know what I'm saying? With all this hijinks shit going on. All this hijinks, you can't believe nothing. Show up to BFTB's channel. Debate that man. Y'all said y'all was the king of debating. I'm still waiting for you to show up at this channel. Still waiting. Don't come on the same time. Flounder around. with some views that ain't real. Some views they just popped up for you, just propped up for you so you can look good. Nah, dog. You're not going to wear on BFTB's numbers, dog. That's not going to work. He's certified LDBC, dog. Very certified. Okay? Very certified. And it don't even matter if nobody comes because he still keeps killing it. He doesn't even blink. Don't even care how many people are in there. Will still commits with the slaughter. Still commits with the slaughter. Show up. But you don't want to show up because you don't want to brand him, right? Because you don't want to give him that body. I got it. You guys are not going to go near BFTB because you don't want to give him that body. You ain't going to put that body up on a platter for my man. That's fine. But chickening out is a body. Chickening out is a body. The LDBC has a debate channel. We have one. It is BFTB. It is a sanctioned debate forum for the LDBC. It is where we send clowns to get eaten up. You don't think we're organized? We are. He's right over there. You guys talk about the LDBC, but you don't show up over there. Never show up. When we set that forum up for you, we set that forum up for you for it's been 2 years now. We've had that forum for you trolls to go over there and get whatever you want to get off your chest. And we all be there watching and waiting for you. And you still don't show up. Because you know, it ain't all yelling and cussing. You can't hang with that dude. And that's what it is. And with that, let me thank y'all for these super chats because I'm telling y'all ain't going to show up. Preach big facts. It's a smear campaign against Gary. Of course it's a smear campaign against Gary. Of course it was. Whole thing was a smear campaign against Gary Russell. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It was ham-handed. It was unnecessary. It was unnecessary. Complete foolishness. To even try to push that. Like, do you really and truly think people are stupid? They are not. They might not say anything, but they're sitting there looking. Okay? I know when people don't agree with me. I know it. Because they don't say anything. They don't super chat. They disappear for long periods of time. You know what I mean? Dude, you guys got to realize you guys took a L. Did you see Devin Haney's eyes? I saw his eyes, dog. Eyes are windows to the soul. That boy was stressed. That boy was stressed when he said, I'm getting tired of this. Like, you know, if you don't want to fight, man, I'm already in camp. Dude, he couldn't look straight into the camera for nothing. Couldn't look straight in the camera for nothing. Because you know, and this is my advice, man, to the young man. This is my advice to the young man. Dog, run your own company. I don't know what the fuck that means to you, but dude, run your own company. If you're the youngest, I'm not even gonna be disrespectful, but if you really are gonna say that you are the youngest promoter, 19-year-old promoter, youngest guy to be licensed as a promoter in boxing history and all that, and then promote. Then promote. You be the one out front selling the brand. You do it. You do it. Ali did it and he was 22 years old. He did it. He did it. I just shook up the world and I'm 22 years old. Do you know who started Top Rank? Muhammad Ali started Top Rank with Herbert Muhammad. He did. Do you know why there is a Don King? Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the reason there is a Don King. Not Floyd Mayweather. I said Floyd Mayweather. Muhammad Ali. Blasphemy. Muhammad Ali. You can be that type of promoter, but dude, you're going to have to take a business class, dog. Like, you can't skip it. Like, let me tell you, young guys that say that you guys got promotional companies. Let me give you everybody that say they got a promotional company. You ain't got shit. You don't know. You're not a businessman. What is EBITDA? What's EBITDA? What's your exit strategy? What's the difference between net profit and gross profit? What is HIPAA? What is HIPAA? If you can't answer those questions, don't tell me you're a promoter. Don't tell me you're a businessman, that you're running a business. Because if you're running a business, you should immediately know what HIPAA means. Immediately. If you are running a business and you a big super baller, you should know what EBITDA is immediately. Immediately. What is the difference between an NDA and an MSA? Can you tell me the difference between an SOW? What's the relationship between an SOW and an MSA? How do you file for your incorporation? And what is the difference between an LLC and an Inc. and an S Corp? Don't tell me you some big fucking businessman if you can't answer those questions. You're not. Go learn it. That's how people become fronts. Because if you don't know all that, you need people to do all that. Sorry to bust your bubble, young folk. But if you don't know the answers to those questions, you need to go to fucking school. I don't care if it's a school in a book that you get or if it's a school that you go to literally. But I thought about this question about this young promoter thing, right? Because I got a daughter that's 19. She's got a 4.0 at a university and she's a major in business. She's in calculus. She's gotten through calculus 2. She got through her freshman year with a 4.0. When I'm talking to my daughter about her homework, I think to myself, would Devin Haney know any of this? Would he know any of this? Would he know how you're? Would he know what she knows? He's going to have a bigger business right now with revenue because he's fighting on his own cards. But in 3 years from now, no, he'd have to hire her. He would have to hire her to help him with his books, to help him with his human resources, to help him with his taxes. That is the vast majority of business. When you guys talk about business, you guys are talking about like the front door shiny shit. You're not talking about any of the back office shit. How can you be a successful businessman and you don't understand the back office where the vast majority of the important shit happens? I listen to you guys talk about your businessmen. No, you're not. But you can be. It's not that hard. You got money. Go online and get in an MBA program online. If you're in college, if you didn't go to college because you went pro, that's no big deal. Get a fucking tutor. You're rich as shit. You're rich as shit. Get a fucking tutor. That $100,000 that you have shining like this in your mouth will get you 2 MBAs if you're willing to do the work. You guys say thank God for Al Heyman because Al Heyman knows this shit. Everything that I've said is something Al Heyman, if he was listening, could immediately give you the answer to. And if he couldn't, that would be something. But can you answer those questions? Most people on here, the answer will be no. Because your job is something different. So Fannon and Don was chilling, man. About to get off this live. Much they said, mate, the fuck you talking about? How many businesses owners do it all themselves? Stretch O. Most do. Dumbass. Most business owners do all of that themselves because they are sole proprietorships, you fucking moron. I have to do all of that for Fannon International Boxing. All of it. I have to keep track of I have to know how much money I'm spending in super chats. because I get a certain amount of money in super chats. So if I'm giving this guy 10 and this guy 20 and this guy 100, I have to keep track of that, because over time, if I do too much of that, I start losing money. So I have to know profit and loss. Dummy. HIPAA. That is human resources related. And HIPAA doesn't apply to me because I don't have employees. But as soon as I hire one, I have to understand what HIPAA is, and I have to post that in my place of business. So small businesses have to know what HIPAA is, you fucking moron. Most businesses are small, and you have to know all that shit. You don't have to be expert in any one area, but answering the question is different. Recognizing it is one thing. Being able to do it is something else, dummy. If you're an owner of the house, you have to know that the toilet needs repair. You don't have to do it yourself, but you got to realize, damn, the water's not supposed to be pouring all over the fucking place. Let me call somebody to fix it. You're a moron. Shut up. Stop talking about shit you don't know. Next. How many business owners do all this themselves? 99% of them. 99% of them do. Stupid. When they get to a certain size, you start doing things like hiring a human resource manager. But guess what? You have to know how to hire one. And you have to be able to speak with her in a way where she wants to continue to work with you. When you start getting a bunch of money, you're going to need a finance department. You're going to need somebody. You're going to need to know how to issue payments. So yes, you're going to have to know, like, what is that software that everybody uses? The QuickBooks. You're going to have to know some basic accounting. If you don't know some basic accounting, how are you going to know how much taxes you owe? How are you going to know that if you're earning this money, that one day the IRS doesn't knock on your door and tell you to come give me your money, Like see happen to black people all the fucking time to get all this money, and then all of a sudden you see the IRS banging their shit in because they were spending and not paying the taxes. You need somebody that's doing that for you. And you have to, in order to do that, you have to know you owe the taxes. And in order to know what type of taxes you pay, you have to know what kind of organization you're going to have. Are you going to be a limited liability corporation? Or are you going to be a corporation? Or are you going to be an S Corp? Are you going to be what? Because that has a lot to do with your risk down the line. And it has a lot to do with your taxes and how much money you keep. Because if you file as a corporation and you shouldn't, then you might be paying a bunch of money that you shouldn't be paying, dumbass. So not only should you be paying more money than you should, being charged more money than you should be charged, you're not paying it, so your shit is going to get snatched eventually. You need to know those things. You need to know those things. Dummy. After Haney hand surgery, before he was medically cleared to fight, he was running around calling out Mikey, Bronner, Ryan, and Tank. In my opinion, is Klaus Chase. I believe that he wanted those fights at lightweight. I just think that this one particular thing, he put his foot in his mouth, and that's what it was. And then they just kept running with it and didn't just let it go. And just say, nah, man, I'm going to fight this dude. Let's talk about this fight after. Yeah, let's talk about it after the Gamboa fight. That's all he had to do. Be like, look, man, I'm going to fight Gamboa. Let's fight after Gamboa, because right now I know that you don't have the training camp and you don't have enough for your training camp, and I'm going to need to take this fight. So no worries, man. You're not ducking. I'm not ducking. It's just what it is. No worries. They could have shook hands and walked away like gentlemen. That's all they had to do. Nico Rico Tico said, go to the IRS website and follow the guidelines. Yeah. You need to know it, and you need to know that. Business owners need to know that. The person that said that is somebody that has never run a business, small, medium, or large. In fact, the larger your business gets, the more infrastructure like that you have. So really, sometimes with your business, it might be better for you to say small and not get big, because the bigger you get, the more infrastructure you have, and the more pressure there is on your profit. When you're smaller, because you can do these things yourself, you get more profit because you don't have to pay for them. So there is this thing like a wine glass, like, you know, the stem of a wine glass with the growth of businesses where, you know, a lot of small businesses, the bigger they get, the more people can do it, because when you get to a certain size, you got to get huge real quick. You got to get huge real quick. You can't stay in that growing stage too long if you're trying to grow your business. So, I mean, dude, and that's shit you need to understand. That's shit you need to understand, and it's not that complicated, but you do need to understand it. And very few 18-year-olds know that. So get to studying. Just get to studying. It's not complicated. You'll get it. Somebody around you knows it, right? Whoever it is, Al Heyman, sit down with Al Heyman and have him explain that. Exactly. The books, exactly. He knows all that shit. That's my take. But look, I'm out of here, man. Michael Lynn said, Fannon, you teaching today? Yeah, man, I tried to. People always think you stupid. Man, come on, man. That's real. That's the best advice I could give to any of you guys. Because if you're just running around saying you got a promotional company, who the fuck cares? I can open like 5 companies today. I could be a motherfucker. What do you call that shit? A mogul in about 20 minutes. All I need to do is go to the Secretary of State's website, you know, pull down, you know, make sure I know what their filing requirements are. Go start up a fucking bank accounts. Boom. I'm a megalodon. I've got 10, 12 companies. You know what I mean? That's bullshit. It's how much money you get. Nah, it's bullshit. But I'm not going to get into that any longer. Much love to everybody in the chat. Everybody that supports the chat, thank you so much. And with that, I'm out. Peace.